What a fucking game.
Welcome to Split the Defense.
Split the Defense.
LEAFS Postgame Edition.
Which is unusual.
There's still a chance.
Split the Defense is presented by LaForest Electrical Contractors. Professional and efficient service since 2004. Serving the Kingston and surrounding areas.
I always feel so stupid.
So it seemed like they were missing something.
Alongside co-host Craig Pearce and producer Ted Evans. Here's your host, Jordan Webster.
How can you not love this team tonight?
All right, we're back on Split the Defense, Leafs post game. I'm Webby with CP and producer Ted in the booth. Thumbs up this episode, subscribe to our YouTube, rate us 5 stars, all that good stuff. Leave us a comment because we love those. We said only 32 times in 333 attempts has an NHL team come back from 3-1 and won the series. No Austin Matthews, and on the back of Matthew Nyes, the Leafs are going home for Game 6. What a game, CP. What are your first star? First star is Matthew Nyes. It's Matthew Nyes, right? Matthew Nyes, first star.
Yeah, it's obviously Matthew Nyes. Who else could you give it to?
Where are we starting tonight?
I don't know. I mean, just like one, I just can't believe we got to do this again. I mean, that was by far the most stressful game. Like going into overtime, I wanted to puke. And so, I mean, I'm obviously excited and happy that we get to do it again. But I mean, the stress tonight was real. And it felt like just because the Leafs were dominating the play for the first half of the game and, you know, it was still a tie game.
Yeah, basically. Leafs allowed 2 shots against in the first period, 1 being a goal, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah. And like, what an unlucky play. I mean, I guess half unlucky. Not a great play, but I mean, it should be a play that's made like, 90% of the time. Goes off a skate and in front of the net. That's kind of unlucky. But yeah, like I was just hoping we weren't just going to get goalied again and, to go to overtime and pull it off. Making me believe again. I'm making me believe.
For the Leafs to play as well as they did and get a goal from none other than Jake McCabe, for that bounce to go off and end up on Frederick's stick, what it came off Maroon's skate, Maroon's size 15 skate onto Frederick's stick right in front of the net, and that being the only goal that goes by Joe Wool tonight. Like that right there, that was a gut punch. I thought, this is like, they scored first, and I thought, oh great, this is great. All optimism. As soon as this goal went in, everything went down the tube, man. I seriously started clenching my butt cheeks. I was worried about every single shot, every single opportunity for the Bees going down into the Leafs end. It was very heart-wrenching tonight, and I can't believe that we have to do it again. I can't believe they made us sit through an overtime. Are they going to make us sit through another overtime? Like, this feels like Charlie Brown with Lucy kicking the football, and right now we are in the stage where Lucy has planted the football. And our hope is coming back, and we're going to run, and we're going to try and kick that football, and the Leafs are just going to pull it out from underneath us. What are they going to go? They're going to go for like 0-13 now if they go and lose this next one at home. Like, are they due or like they doomed playing at home?
I don't know, man. Like, that's the one thing that I'm like scared of. That was coming into this game without Austin Matthews. You're playing away. Like, this is where you're probably going to get the best effort out of the team. And so it does scare me playing at home. And that's something that like you should never say. Like, that should just be a given that you'd rather play in your own barn. But yeah, just not the case. Not the case.
Not in Toronto, no. And yeah, it's the whole rock and barn issue. It's the pressure of the media. I don't know whether it's the too much pressure at home. Like, I don't understand. Maybe the road frees their head. Or maybe it's just shit luck, and that's just the way it works out, and they're due for a win because it's got to regress back to the mean.
Well, I mean, I like just if you put them into your if I put myself into someone's shoes or skates tonight, like the Bruins crowd's just roaring, right? And I feel like it just gives you a little bit of focus versus being in a your own building that you can just feel the tension and how nervous it is, right? So, like, just off the bat, I feel like that's a massive difference.
I think we also have to note that Boston was also very nervous tonight.
Oh, yeah. Like, I want to give a lot of credit to the Leafs, but yeah, no question. They came out flat, nervous, kind of looking like the Leafs would normally look. So, yeah, no question. There's a bit of a turn of the tides of, from last game to this game. Definitely not their best effort. And Marchand, like, getting a little too riled up, a little in his head, I think, having to get a talking to by the coach. So, I mean,
I don't have a clip of this, but did you see the ref push him over? That was the best thing of this whole playoff so far. The look on Marchand's face when he hit the ice, it was just disgusting. Did you just do that?
he said, get the
He was so angry after that. I don't even know, like, in that instance, I'm not really sure Marchand would have gotten a penalty. I don't know whether it was just kind of a makeup for pushing him over. Like, sure, he earned one earlier and they both got one because the play was continued. Sure, you want to call that. No. I think the ref went, oh, shit. Well, yeah, I was taking him to the box. I needed to take him to the box because that was aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's the linesman, though, that's tackling him, not the refs.
Yeah.
I think it was offsetting right off the hop.
It felt aggressive.
Yeah, because you kind of
maybe he's yelling at his buddy like, you got to give him a penalty. Like, fuck, did you see what I just did? I could lose my job.
No, I like, if we were a bigger show, I might not say this, but like, I kind of think I saw Marchand fake punch the ref. So like, I was like, is he like actually in trouble here? But I don't, maybe I was just seeing things and maybe he's just, flailing his arms, but they kind of cut away from it so quickly. But yeah, I thought that was kind of hilarious.
Yeah. But the Leafs, I was worried about the whole play 40 minutes well. And then
yeah, me too.
Screw the end of the game, shit the bed in the beginning, maybe lose the game in the second where you just can't get back in that third. But they're really good at playing 40 minutes. They played a pretty solid 40 minutes, especially the first 20 minutes tonight. They had 30 shot attempts in the first, and that was the third most this season, all regular season games. So 30 shot attempts. The top line, Austin Matthews, top line, outshot the Bruins 7-0 and outscored them 1-0 in the first period. And that was Bertuzzi, Domi, and Marner. So what did you think of our new top line?
I mean, it was awesome. They were making plays. I really wish Bertuzzi just had a little bit better of a shot. Because like it was clear right from the get-go that he was going to get opportunities. So I think if they were aligned for longer, then you'd have to teach Marner and Domi to shoot more. And like, I just don't understand Marner not shooting just because he actually has a good shot. He's got a decent wrist shot. Like, don't ask the guy to take a slapper, but like, I just don't really get it when it's just so obvious. But yeah, in all, like, it was a good line. And just imagine if like these are the things where like this should have been tried way earlier. But we're forced into it. And I mean, I guess if, Matthews is back and, we're not probably going to see it, I guess, like, I don't know, but it definitely worked. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Domi was a victim of it twice, trying to get it over to Bertuzzi. The one time he did get it over, but it was clearly passed the whole way. Domi never had anything else in his mind on that 2-on-0. And it's just hard right there. It's hard for you to not just expect the goalie to save it. Look, his head never even turns. Like, it's hard to watch those guys do that when you know that they should shoot it. Like, how many times did I say, fuck, I wish that was William Nylander?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those plays would be William Nylander is one of the best at that because he's equally as skilled at both, passing and shooting. But like, that's a beautiful pass by Domi. Don't get me wrong, but clearly it was better to shoot. It was a difficult pass. Like, Bertuzzi's not going to get an amazing shot off of it. I think they both made the best of that play, but like, you could see Swayman wasn't even, protecting the entire, like, his right side of the net. Just because, like, he's, expecting, like, I'm going to be,
he knows
going
exactly.
over. Yeah.
He read it. He read it like a book.
Yeah.
So Justin Miller says, thank fucking God passing was so much better tonight. I did have some gripes with the passing at the beginning of the game, but Willie came back tonight. He started looking a little better. He was making some dekes and dangles in the other end. And like, he had an attempt where he ended up hitting a bar. Like, he ended up looking good tonight. I don't know, like, their passing was crisp in moments, but there's a couple clips that I didn't cut that just show that the Bruins are so smothering that it's really hard for anybody to make a pass. and they're rifling it off really quickly. And even when they aren't, somebody's getting in the way. There's sticks in the way. It's bouncing off the boards into bodies. So, like, maybe I was a little hard on the passing, but the passing did look better tonight. I will agree with that. John says the Leafs are bad at home. Yes, we know the Leafs are bad at home. 0-13 is what they're looking at if they lose this one. So 0-12 right now. Hopefully that doesn't happen. The Nye's wraparound attempt tonight. How the hell did that not go in?
Oh yeah, this whole sequence here, like, I don't know. I like, honestly, when I first saw it, I was like, I'm not expecting this to be a goal, but there's no way that puck didn't go across the line. And then, like, you can actually basically track it the entire time. And yeah, like, no, I have no idea how it didn't go across the line.
I know. I was like, oh, it has to be a goal. And you watch it back. No, it clearly 100% didn't.
Nope.
Take it in slow motion. I can see the puck the whole time. The one thing that Riley was really pissed off about, though, is they blew the whistle really quick. Do you think it was too quickly?
I mean, like, it's the rule where, like, as soon as the ref loses sight of the puck for a certain amount of time,
and we lost sight of it.
Yeah, I mean, you do see it, and it's basically when he's going to blow the whistle, like, the puck pops out. So, I mean, it's just, that was unfortunate. I think that they did blow one down quick for Wall later on in the game, and I felt like maybe that was the makeup because, like, you know, the Bruins could have capitalized on one as well. So, yeah. That's tough, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So I want to talk about what I think is probably my favorite part of this game, and that was when Mo and Pasta started going at it. And then Matthew Nyes steps in. So Pasta is very ready and willing to throw here. All of a sudden, never mind, changed my mind. As you can see, he was very ready to throw. And then Matthew Nyes says, you want to go with me? Yeah, that's what I thought. I love Matthew Nyes. Goal scoring, doing this shit. Oh, man. That guy's, I hope they keep him here for a very long time. He could be a very unaffordable player for the Leafs in a few years because that guy has the potential.
Yeah. He just has the body for hockey. He has kind of the attitude that we've seen. He's still young. Man. Yeah, young in the league too. So you can only assume that he's going to kind of blossom into that. And like, I don't expect anything less from Pasta. Like, because you see how Riley's flailing his arms, and you know, Nyes might only have one fight, but he held his own. And he's a bigger lad. I wouldn't want to mess with Nyes, that's for sure. So I don't blame Pasta, but it's hilarious when, like, that's what this team needs. And then I know that, like, it's maybe a little late this season, but for the future, having that guy, someone around who's still on a cheap contract, and if he can bring that type of play and attitude, like, I think that
shit-eating grin, just that shit-eating grin, just please. I love that.
Oh, I agree. Just the way he looks at him too. He's like, yes, I am tough.
No. What? No way. Absolutely. That was fantastic. So tonight I thought the game could end in one Marchand near miss. It was so close.
Yeah.
So close to ending the game. From my screen, it looked like that went in.
Look who saves it too. It's Matthew Nyes with stick on puck. So just another reason he's the first star. Like, that's an easy tap in, but not when you're stick to stick with someone. So yeah,
the more you watch, he really earned that first star tonight. Matthew Nyes was incredible. He made plays in the defensive end, scored the game-winning goal. He was riling up the boys. He was doing everything that you could ask for a 21 or 22-year-old kid. Like, remember, that kid is a kid. He's a child.
Yeah, like, he might look like a man from a distance, but no, like, he's, still blossoming into what he's going to be as a hockey player. So
I know, and so much potential for him to be amazing. The last thing that I got from my notes, Joe Woll. Joe Woll had an excellent night. Does Samsonov save that? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Sammy's decent at side to side. Like, that's when he makes, like, some of those spectacular saves. But I mean, give all credit to Waldo. He looked, even though he let in, either was it the first or the second shot of the game. Like, from then on, obviously he didn't let one in. and he looks so much calmer. Like it kind of like it makes me feel like we should have had him in from the get-go. I know that he wasn't like at his peak performance, but neither was Sammy, and Wall was the guy beforehand. Like we had already written off Sammy and Wall, and it's just the injury comes back. It's not like he was awful. So like, yeah, really confident
This
in Wall as the goalie, and I think he's clearly going to be the guy.
this has been the talk all day long since it's basically been confirmed that Joe Woll is going to start this game. That everybody's saying, well, let's backpedal a bit here. Remember that he was the guy. I think the big topic here is that they really didn't give him enough to warm up, and they were concerned about that. But did you have any concerns with Joe Woll's performance tonight?
Definitely not as far as injury wise. Like even on a save, like that save right there proves almost everything. That, like,
Timing?
yeah,
Like, no, he's
and
on
from
it.
a high ankle sprain too. Like that looks like a goalie that's totally comfortable with his body. So, yeah, I think it was funny.
Also,
Like
could have been
quote
the other
from
ankle.
Fair point. Very fair point. Yeah. It was funny to hear Keefe in his interview saying that like that Wall's been treating the practices like games. And like I thought that was the stupidest thing to say. Like it's practice, man. Like what are you talking about? I don't understand. Like I could
I
like
don't know.
is it
You're
a
supposed to practice
mentality?
hard.
Is he warming up the same way that a game is? Like I just wasn't sure what he meant, but whatever he was doing, it was totally working because like he doesn't look cold at all. Even coming in the mid game last game, like did perfectly well in the third period.
So apparently when Casey Middlestat was traded from Buffalo to Colorado,
Okay.
they said he said to somebody in the locker room, "Holy shit, you guys practice hard.
Oh, yeah.
You're supposed to practice hard. You're supposed to treat, especially this time of year, right? Especially if you're doing that shit and it's not just a skate around, get loose, shoot around. If you're doing practices and running drills, you'd better be fucking tight. Tight. Like game time situation tight. Focus."
I'm not so sure during the playoffs because like everyone's like normally really hurting, but all the way up.
Jim Montgomery's been running practices for the last week, stopping them halfway through, yelling at the guys to get their shit together. And I think that could be the difference between the Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs, if you ask me.
Maybe like I'm just saying that like I was about to say that's something that is very important from game like 1 to 82. The entire season. Like you can like lean off a little bit, but it just goes to show you that like team to team, there's different mentalities through the league. And I'm
Yeah, and
afraid
this
of the type of
mentality
mentality
sucks.
that's here. Yeah, and obviously it's pretty clear, even though like the Leafs won tonight and everything. Like it's still the like blatantly obvious that one team is built to play in the playoffs and one team just has really good players. And like that's how this series I think is going to like play out. And like if
But
they could pull off 2 more games, like I think it's a change in mentality from the Leafs because
yeah,
they're not going to
I
do it
think
the way they have.
I think they're not doing it the way they have. They have no Austin Matthews. So I
Yeah.
think that maybe that does change the team mentality into more of a team mentality. Mitch was fucking flying tonight. Mitch
Yeah.
played his best game of the series.
No question. There's no question he had his best game. I think that's something that's not new. Like this team is used to being without Austin Matthews. He's like has hardly put in full seasons in the NHL. And so like, yeah, and it's scary how good they play without him. So like I wouldn't want to go without him for long stretches of time. But when it's about like how the team thinks about playing and they're missing their best player, then yeah, you're getting a different effort. And I actually thought like going into
Different
this game,
mentality.
yeah, I was calling that William Nylander was just gonna have like an amazing game because he looks around and he's like like I'm the guy here, and I think that there's a lot of guys in the locker room looking around saying like I could be the guy here. When Austin Matthews is in there, it's pretty clear that you're not the
Oh, well,
guy.
he's the guy.
Yeah, like who?
I think the same thing.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of guys who should have that mentality either way. But I think there's a lot of guys who, when a guy like Austin Matthews goes out of the lineup, they go, well, fuck, I better step up tonight then. Well, tonight's my night that I better go for a goal.
yeah. 100%. And I think there's a little bit of that. It's a elimination game. So like, if you're not bringing your best effort tonight, like get the hell out of here. Like this is the time to bring it. And that's when
what
you
I'm
get
saying.
nervous.
So bring
when
it in
you're
practice. We
Yeah.
talking about practice?
Yeah. We talking about practice here? But yeah, like I think
if you hurt, you hurt. If you can't practice, you can't practice.
Yeah, it was right out of the book tonight, though, where the team that was supposed to be the eliminating, the chance to eliminate another team came out nervous, and the team that had the chance to be eliminated came out like on fire. So I think that hopefully we continue to see that. And like Ryan Reeves, very nicely pointed out to everybody today, that this is a team that blew it last year. So all the chances are here.
Yeah, I think now the whole conversation, like you watch tomorrow, the conversation all around Toronto, sports media, radio, everything that you watch and listen to is going to be that the pressure's now on the Bruins. It's not going to be, there's going to be some mild talk. I know, especially, I can hear Sam McKee right now, who does like our rival show, Louise. I can hear him right now from Kipper and Bourne tomorrow. He's going to say like, yeah, but they're 0-12 at home. Like, yeah, I know. And that's what we're all thinking right now. But you have to think on the other side, there's some pressure there too.
Yeah. I mean, if the worst case scenario before tonight was them to win tonight and lose the next game, like to just
that's
blow it
probably
at
what's
home.
going to happen.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
That would be the most cruel situation. So, I mean, we're really testing the waters here. Like what our fate are.
You know why? Do you know why? Because Leaf fans' bar is so low that they wouldn't admit it on the outside, but on the inside they would take a little bit of solace in at least just getting to a Game 7. Even if we lost, I think we would just lie to ourselves a little bit, like, well, it's not that bad. But if you don't even get to the Game 7, like you can't even lie to yourself a little bit and say that this wasn't a fucking write-off of a season. And that just sucks. That's like Bertuzzi's not coming back next year.
Well, yeah. That's what I've been thinking for like the last 3 days, is that like the worst case scenario for me is that this goes to 7 games and we lose, because it just might give the ownership just that much hope to run it all back again. That would be just awful. So like I wasn't cheering against them, but if I looked at the big picture and it was like, if they're going to lose this series, like better to lose sooner. So they actually do change something big. But at this point, they got to win now. They won this game. They got to win.
Probably a conversation for another day, but like you can't really get rid of anybody at this point. You still have one more year of this bullshit. Unless you want to take pennies on the dollar for these guys, then you aren't going to be able to trade them away and get anything worth the value back in return, because they have no movement clauses, which means if they are going, they're going where they want to go, which means you're not going to get very much for them.
Yeah, John Tavares. That's
a conversation for another day.
Yeah, John Tavares is, he's a Leaf, for the rest of his contract. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's so many circumstances there. But yeah, the Marner talk, that's for a day when we're not in the playoffs. But yeah,
that's right. So we're back on Thursday, and it says to be decided for the time, but it's probably going to be 7 because it's usually 7 because it's a weekday. So like I said, 32 teams out of 333 possible times in the NHL playoffs. They've come back and they've won the series. Can the Leafs make it 33? We haven't a fucking clue, but we're going to be here with you for the whole ride. We will see you back here Thursday. That's a wrap for now. Thanks for joining us for Split the Defense Leafs post-game. We appreciate your comments. To show your support, hit that like button, subscribe on YouTube. Please rate and review the show. We want your feedback. Find us on X at STDP and search for Split the Defense on all other socials. Until next time, see you for Game 6.
Peace. Go Avs, go.
Thanks for tuning in to Split the Defense.
Split the Defense.
Leafs Postgame Edition. Hosted by Jordan Webster, Craig Pearce, and producer Ted Evans. Split the Defense is presented by LaForest Electrical Contractors. Professional and efficient service since 2004, serving the Kingston and surrounding areas.